What's happening, Yank? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update, guys. This update may key us in on how Biden is going to tank and lose this election. You know, this is going to seal the deal for Biden losing 2024, guys. I'm excited to get this update. We've got Fox News at the 5. We got Judge Jeanine, the lovely judge, and Greg Gutfeld diving into the topic as Biden has absolutely lost it in this next clip. I'm excited to get in this clip to see exactly what's going on and how Biden has lost it now. You know, he's too far of his mind for recovery, guys. There is no way he's going to get this, derailed train back on the tracks. We're going to get straight into the clip and I'll get my thoughts on the back end, guys. So definitely stick around to the end. So guys, get my thoughts on the back end. And also, YouTube pushes this video out. Definitely stick around until the end, you guys. But let's get straight to the clip. Before we do that, though, make sure you guys hit that like button for me and also hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. Let's get into it, y'all.
Big day here in the Big Apple for Joe Biden and Donald Trump, both in New York City at the same time today. President Biden chatting with Howard Stern, telling him he would be happy to stand on a debate stage with Trump. Speaking of which, the former president was in court for day 8 of his criminal hush money trial. Former National Enquirer Chief David Pecker wrapping up his testimony. And we got to hear from the prosecution's next 2 witnesses. Trump's former assistant, Ronna Graff, a 34-year veteran of the Trump Organization, and Gary Farrow, a former banker at First Republic when Michael Cohen was apparently seeking to arrange the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels. Trump sounding off on another day in court.
This is all a Biden indictment. It's in order to try and win an election, political opponent, and nothing like this has ever happened. I've invited Biden to debate. He can do it anytime he wants, including tonight. I'm here. I'm ready, willing, and able. And if he wants, I'll do it on Monday night, Tuesday night, or Wednesday night. We'll be in Michigan, a state that he's destroyed.
Well, the former president was certainly on the mind of the current president. Joe Biden repeatedly brought up Donald Trump while being interviewed by Howard Stern.
I don't know if you're going to debate your opponent.
I am somewhere. I don't know when. I'm happy to debate him. I don't think the election's over yet on that score.
What do you think's going to happen? I can't imagine you're going to lose, but...
Well, look, he's promised if he doesn't win, there's going to be a bloodbath. Trump makes fun of me.
Right.
He was the kind of guy in the neighborhood who wish he could have gotten in the neighborhood, meet head to head.
Maybe like corn pop. Okay, the sit down with Stern coming as Biden takes some friendly fire from the New York Times. The Great Lady accusing the president of setting a dangerous precedent for avoiding interviews with most of the media. And despite Biden's best efforts to shuffle away from the press, Axios has an alarming new report out on his gait. Quote, instead of walking to and from Marine One by himself in the last week, Biden started walking surrounded by aides who are concerned that videos of Biden walking alone, especially on grass, have highlighted his age. Charlie, you can't stop with the giggles over here today.
Well, whether it's Trump talking about how he wants to debate Biden or the fact that the real concern in the White House is that the tall grass is going to wipe out Joe Biden. And if you wonder why the economy is in the tank, we have an open border and we have all these wars popping up all over the place, it's because the White House is more concerned about shielding Joe Biden walking to the helicopter than they are about solving any problems.
Okay, so Greg, he says it goes back to the grass, which I know that you know something about.
Oh, I don't understand that. Are you alluding to something?
I just need you to Google it.
All right. First of all, I love how these trials are fuel for Trump. If he's Popeye, lawfare is his spinach.
Oh.
He's not leading in the polls despite the trials. He's leading in the polls because of the trials, and it's hilarious to watch. It really is. Who would have thought the Howard Stern show would become the safe space for an elderly, clueless fossil, and also Joe Biden? I kid Howard Stern. I loved him, but man, he has changed. Risk has now been replaced with reward. When you listen to the interview, he's completely defanged, and he's rendered kind of a harmless Stern, the opposite of what the brand that Stern used to be. But that's what happens when you get co-opted by power and famous friends. And it's weird to see Stern switch sides. So Trump, for many years, supported Stern, gave him his best shows. And I could bet you at that time, Biden would have branded Stern a moral hazard in need of censorship. So now you have Stern basically trashing Trump, who reflects the frankness of the Stern phenomenon. And instead, Stern embraces the precise kind of phony that early Stern would have mercilessly mocked. Now on to your cheap gaffe about the grass. Okay. They're talking about a Stef gate. That's what this is part of a bigger scandal that should be called Feeble Gate, right? It's a scandal to cover up Biden's ever diminishing function. Let's be honest. The only way that Biden can look younger is to surround himself with corpses. And it's not the walk that should be alarming. It's the dementia, which makes him even more oblivious to the destruction of all our institutions. It's the woke handlers who are accelerating our nation's demise, and he's just there along for the ride. Who knows how much longer he'll be there? I think it's also, it's also hard to walk when you got a load in your pants. That's why they call him Dark Brandon, Judge. Ask the White House Laundry.
Okay, we don't have any confirmation from the White House Laundry, so we're just going to move on from that. But I thought it was interesting, Judge, that there's part of this reporting in Politico about the people walking with him is he wanted more downtime, less formal time with his aides. So the walk between the White House and Marine One is supposed to be
that'll do it. I mean, that'll absolutely do it. I mean, look, the reason he's got his aides there is because they're going to ask him a question. It's quiet. There's nothing going on there, and they're afraid he's going to answer it. And they're the ones who are going to make sure that he doesn't say anything that's out of line. It's obviously, we already know how he treats his aides. He curses at them. He yells at them. I mean, we've heard all the stories about what's going on in the White House. But, I agree with Greg. I mean, the guy's lost it. And what he's saying now, what he said on the Howard Stern show, he came up with even more lies. The guy's a plagiarist. He's plagiarized his whole career. I think it was his 88 or 98 presidential campaign. They threw him out because he was such a liar. Now he comes up with 4 new ones. He said when he was a lifeguard, he saved 6 people from drowning. Now, you want to tell me why he waited until he was 81 to tell people about that? Oh, number 2, and he said, get this, he said, whenever he, as a senator, received salacious pictures that women would give him, he would give it to the Secret Service. Joe, you didn't have Secret Service when you were a senator, okay?
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Then he said when he was younger, he was on the porch with a black family. He was the only white kid on the porch with a black family. He was protesting segregation, and they arrested him. Joe, why would they arrest you? I mean, okay, and then he said he was a runner in state scoring football. What the hell is that? First of all, he always said he was the first one in his family to go to college. Then we heard that his grandfather played college football, and he was the best. I mean, you need to have drinks when you go through this. You know what? It's just ridiculous. And this man is representing us. He talks to Xi Jinping. He talks to Putin. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to need to go down to that end of the table and do a wellness check on the judge down there.
I think Jeanine should be the debate moderator.
Well, listen, if you're free, it's apparently going down at the courthouse tonight. If you're free, they've offered to do it. Well, at least one side has offered. Okay, so this interview, where you find all these nuggets, is Howard Stern. But the New York Times is upset because they say, more traditional news outlets are not getting a chance at this. They say it should be troubling that President Biden has so actively and effectively avoided questions from independent journalists during his term. Avoiding interviews and questions from major news organizations doesn't just undermine an important norm. It also establishes a dangerous precedent that future presidents can use to avoid scrutiny and accountability. So, Richard, they're thinking not only about now, but is there self-interest also that other presidents will say it's just not done that way anymore?
Oh, listen, I think that's a fair point by the New York Times, and I do think that the president should probably give more interviews to the traditional press or those folks who sit in the briefing room. I think that's a fair assessment. Now, I watched the same interview you did, Judge. I didn't have the same assessment of it, but that's all fair in love and war. There's a part of the interview that I really did appreciate the president talking about, especially at this point, this inflection point in our country. He talked about the time when he lost both his wife and his daughter, and he talked about the ideal of what he was dealing with. He talked about thinking about drinking. He also talked about the ideal of his own suicide ideations after losing both his daughter and his wife. And I think this comes at a time in our country where we know Black youth the suicide rate there is up 144%. We know that for college athletes, the suicide rate has doubled in this country. So we have a lot of young people struggling with this too. To hear the president of the United States say, hey, listen, when I was a young person, I too struggled with this, I think is a real moment for him to say, listen, I'm feeling your pain. And this is what he's very good at doing. Whether you disagree with his politics or not, it's important to see our leaders say, I've struggled with this as well, especially as the nation and our young people struggle with it too.
Too bad he does nothing about the pain. I'm all for feeling pain, but America's...
The part about it is talking about it, Greg. That's how you deal with it.
Talking is cheap. I think someone said that once. Talk is cheap. Fact is, we have inflation that is causing
20 suicidal ideations. Talking about it's actually how you solve it.
No. If you want to buy into that, that's fine.
I mean, but that's
he's done nothing about
medical
fentanyl.
community says.
He's done nothing about fentanyl. He's done nothing about crime. He's done nothing about inflation. He's done nothing about border, which is increased gang crime.
He's done nothing about Hamas.
All right, I'll give you this. You know what? I'll give you this.
Fair.
Suicidal ideation is bad. There you go. You can have that point.
Everyone can agree on that.
Yeah,
and we'll leave it there.
The president talked about it.
There is work to be done.
Oh my goodness, guys. We just seen Judge Jeanine absolutely torching that guy Biden up. Saying that he has lost it, completely lost his mind, all of his marbles, gotta be gone, Coming out in that Howard Stern interview, got Biden saying that, he has no problem debating, he can get up there anytime, any day. Now, I think Howard Stern was trying to, push the envelope, get Biden a little bit uncomfortable. They're saying that, Howard Stern is flipped, but I don't know. I feel like, that question right there, he was trying to put, Biden on the spot to say, you haven't really been in the face of the public. You haven't been doing, interviews with the press. Then he flat out just says, when will we get, Biden versus his opponent on a debate stage? And Biden, he was put on the spot right there. There's nothing else to say, but, I'm going to debate, whenever he's ready. We all know that not to be true. I don't know if Barry will allow that to happen. We know Biden's not in control of what's going on as far as the debates go. This would be one of the biggest nightmares for, the Biden campaign, Biden administration. And I feel like that would be the fatal blow to, his re-election campaign right there. Him getting up on that debate stage would be the icing on the cake. Like all the individuals, the ones who have been, stuck underneath the rock or, lied to and believing, the gaslight and, the projection from the left, all be waking up. That cover will be dropped down, the sheet that's in front of their eyes, and they would see exactly what's going on. This guy Biden is not capable to go, toe-to-toe with anyone, meeting with other world leaders. I mean, just to think, we got this guy who can't even get up, and meet with the press, meeting with world leaders and making such monumental decisions for our country. I mean, come on now, guys. Now is the time for change, guys. We're headed in the wrong direction. We got, this guy Biden who is fake caring about our country, clearly driving us quickly into the ground, turning this place into a third world country. Glad we've got, Judge Jeanine fired up, trying to get it out there, letting folks know that, we need to wake up and stop playing with these lies that Biden are feeding. We got Judge Jeanine so fired up, on Joe Biden and his lies, wanting to expose all these stories to the folks on the left who may have not heard, this guy Joe Biden blatantly lying to try to fit in or seem like a superhero in the eyes of those on the left. And it's not working. He's only making himself look like a pathological liar. By the way, he just comes up with the most far-fetched, far-out stories. You just can't believe this guy or take his word at face value anymore. I mean, come on, the highest leader of our country should have, some dignity and way more respect for our country to, not be running this place into the mud. And making the seat, the office of presidency look so bad, so shameful. I mean, he has done a great harm to our country. And that seat as president, just Joe Biden being in that seat has really put some stains on our country. And it's going to take, some serious, scrubbing to get all these marks out, because this guy Joe Biden is doing some serious harm. And these little stories, anecdotal stories that he's trying to, relate with folks or seem like he's bigger than what he is. It's not helping, saving, half a dozen folks when he was a lifeguard, stating that he was, the record breaking runner in football, whatever that even means, guys. I mean, come on, first one to go to college. All these lies are not helping, the harm that Joe Biden has done. I don't think, anything that he could say, none of the words he's putting out his mouth, he needs to start, some action. That's what people have been looking for during his presidency. And we've got no actions, just a bunch of, words with no motive behind it, guys. Definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this one. This is really sad to see, he's completely lost it. There is no way, Howard Stern gassing him up to think that he could get up there and debate with Donald Trump. Guys, definitely hop in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. You guys think we could get, a Joe Biden, Donald Trump debate in the near future? Hop in the comment section, guys, and let me know if it's possible. Also, make sure you guys hit that share button and share this out to as many Facebook friends as possible, guys. Share the truth. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button. It doesn't cost one thing. Hit that like button for your boy. And also hit that subscribe button, guys. We're on the road to the truth. Hop aboard for the journey. I'll catch you guys on the next one. We go.